Listen, welcome to TFG tonight. I'm your host, Mr. Haynes. Everybody in that place. But once he out of here, guess what? Pop! And all of us coming down. That's why I had to go and talk about Ivanka right quick, because they coming to sell this one.
Oh,
you is.
This is what I love about President Barack Hussein Obama. No matter what, he kept it 100.
I was just going to bring that up.
That's right. Yeah. So listen, if my company told me that I had to do something that I said, man, that's a little, we tripping. I mean, bro, half the country voted for a man that took diversity out of employment. Half the country voted for that man.
What up, y'all? I'm playing. What's up? Y'all doing all right it's morning somewhere, right? So you know that's really interesting. I'm gonna start calling us the morning team, because it's morning somewhere. Australia, Asia, somewhere it's morning, right? Y'all just watching us at nighttime. Welcome to TFG tonight. We the morning team. Hey y'all, I'm excited to see everybody. When you come in, say what's up. Hey, y'all know how we like it. We love them stickers. What up, bro? Good to see you, man. Hey, y'all, we got an amazing show again. 7 days since we seen y'all, so you know we got a lot to talk about. So I'm not going to mess around. We finna get this thing. Y'all know how we start this thing off, right? We keeping up with the Trumps. Listen, DJ Trump on them ones and twos. He had a party this weekend. Y'all know he had a party? I don't even know how you would party. Well, let's just say I don't know how much they partying they were doing, but they bring a whole lot of money. Listen, Trump had a party. He wouldn't let the cameras in though, but y'all know people came out there tripping. Some people said they left feeling a little awkward, and y'all know why? Because Trump went in that thing asking people, why in the world are y'all not getting more angrier about stop the steal? They know they stole the election. That's all he talked about, right? And it was amazing because he started talking about McConnell. He started talking about all the other Pence. He started talking about everybody, right? But y'all know why Donald wanted to do this, right? Donald had this party so he could raise that money, right? So let me tell y'all a fun fact. The Republican National Committee, right? Y'all know there's a RNC and a DNC, and these groups are supposed to be the PAC which raised the money for the people they want to see in office under their party, right? But guess what Trump did? Trump said, "No, I don't want y'all money. Matter of fact, I don't even want the Republicans giving to the RNC no more. I want y'all to give all the money to me and let me do with it what I want to do with it." So let me tell y'all this. The RNC right now has $84 million in the bank. Y'all wanna know how much Trump got in the bank just from all those Republicans stopped giving to the RNC? 85 million. He up on them by one. Y'all know what's gonna happen to the Republican Party? Anyway, listen. Y'all know what we're finna do. Let's bring the morning team on. To bring the family in. Y'all know how we do it. Let's go. Ooh, y'all didn't even know that was finna happen, did y'all? Big Ken, Black, Lady Ruru. What's going on, y'all? Y'all doing all right?
What's going on, fam?
Fantastic.
Man, listen, y'all. I'm telling y'all, y'all gotta pay for this kind of stuff. Shahana, what's up? Good to see you. Listen, y'all know I hung out with Lee this weekend. I ain't getting into that though. Let's move on. I know when I'm licked. Listen, you hang out with Lee, you better be ready to hang.
You got that right. You got that right for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Listen, y'all ready to get into this thing?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Oh man. Oh, DMX. What's his name? Ernest?
Earl Simmons.
Earl Simmons. Man, you know what I will say about Earl Simmons is that I believe he was most creative when he was probably high as a kite. A lot of rappers are, you know what I'm saying? I do understand his plight. I do understand his past, and he made the best of it, man. And so, for every person out there that struggles with any type of past that really that you try to get away from on any level, um, much power to you, man. It's a lot harder right now because of how everything is, man. The pandemic is making things a lot harder. So, uh, what are y'all first thoughts about DMX, man? I know all of us kind of. Rue, yeah, no, you probably know a little bit about DMX too.
Yeah, that is my generation.
Mm.
All right, you was an E fan. You was driving around four wheelers.
I was barking around that time a lot.
There you go.
Anyways, but yeah, no, it's disheartening to hear. It's, you know, especially when you're trying to remember someone for like the positive things that they've done and contributed to, you know, in their lifetime, to have it just kind of swept under the rug by whatever negative, you know, that people put out. And so I just, condolences to him and his family. I just don't want to remember him in a bad light. I feel like he was very influential, especially in mine. Like, that's why I'm so aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I hear
brothers,
you.
brothers.
I think that we all, when he was admitted to the hospital, I kind of knew probably that he wouldn't come out of there alive. I was praying for the best, and expecting the worst. He was a tortured soul, man. The brother was, but after we lost Tupac and Biggie, I think when DMX came in, he was that guy. He was the guy from the late 1990s to the mid 2000s. You couldn't argue that DMX was running the rap game. He was the guy. He was such a talented soul. He was just a talented brother, man. But those demons, he could never get away from them demons. And those guys like that, man, I would call him a poet more so than a rapper, because some of the things that he did, some of the lyrics that he wrote, some of the songs that he made were just absolutely poetry to me. But my favorite DMX joint was "Get At Me, Dog." That is my favorite X joint, and I know that's his very first single that he released was "Get At Me, Dog," and that's my favorite X joint. And I would remember him for his passion, for his love for people, man, and his spirituality. People don't think that, they don't think rappers can be spiritual, but the brother was spiritual too. So he's definitely gonna be missed. He's definitely gonna be missed.
Yeah, I'm gonna end at the Ligo on something that I found interesting about him. Since you brought that up, Ken, what you got, Black?
Yeah, for me, his career speaks for itself. Literally the first rap artist to have 5 albums, go number 1, first to do it. His discography is never going away. He's a legend. We know that. His death resonated with me on more of a personal level. I am a New Yorker. I grew up in that time frame. And in watching some of his videos, because you kind of get nostalgic and go back. What really touched me is the fact that it explained why he was spiritual. Some things I did not know. It's weird. His mom was a Jehovah's Witness, and his grandmother was a Baptist. And then, quite naturally, when he went to jail, he kind of converted a little bit to Islam. And he talked about the fact that he had a well-rounded understanding of all religions. And as a inactive Jehovah's Witness myself, and I used to be a Baptist, and I was actually a traveling preacher, when you talk about that spiritual, that realness, that's why it comes across. Because one of the things that growing up in the Jehovah's Witness forces you to do is you study a great deal. You study all religions. Jehovah's Witnesses are taught to go knock on strangers' doors and overcome objections. So even though they make fun of you about knocking on doors, it's a tremendous advantage to be able to go out and confront a stranger's beliefs and overcome them, because you're armed with all of this spiritual knowledge. So when you hear this man speak and being a tortured soul, it comes across in everything that he does. And having lost 2 brothers to crack, HIV, and AIDS, you know, you talk about constantly being plagued with demons. I get it. And that's why he was so beloved, because he is the everyday man. We all have flaws. And so he's that person that when you go to his funeral, remember him. Don't stand over him saying he was a blessed soul and, oh my God, he was so righteous. Tell the truth. He was a tortured soul with a lot of issues, and that's okay. That's, for me, that's it.
Yeah. So I want to say, yeah, I definitely grew up with him. You know, in the 90s, it was turned into gangster rap, like Pac, DMX. I mean, like you said, Ken, those jokers, they knew scripture. I won't speak about how they believed and what they didn't believe, but they knew scripture. Like DMX wasn't a gangster rapper. He just told a lot of truth that if you get caught up in the beat and not paying attention to what he said, but if you ever hear him just rap, just no music, man, he'll make your head spin, right? And now these jokers wearing dresses try to get attention. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole, that's a whole nother.
I ain't touching that. I'm just telling y'all, man. Y'all say that for the Beta brothers. We alphas, we don't fool with that kind of junk. All right. So I want to show something, then we move on. DMX had a tattoo on his neck, and it took me about 4 or 5 pictures to see what that was. They actually had the word Exodus, chapter 1, verse 7, and so I just wanted to read that for y'all. I don't know what it means, but just give y'all something to ponder. So Exodus chapter 1, verse 7 says, "But their descendants, the Israelites, had many children and grandchildren. In fact, they multiplied so greatly that they became extremely powerful and filled the land." So, I mean, you know, take it for what you want, man. The brother was trying to spit game even around his neck, you know what I'm saying? And we are so lost in trying to multiply as a people, whether it's Parent Planned, whether it's these officers, whether it's the system. I mean, man, like we got to value our lives more than just making decisions in the bedroom and then trying to cover up our mistakes or whatever.
Brother X did have 15 kids, so maybe
that's what I'm saying. That's it.
So
that's it, man.
Because the Bible says, "Be fruitful and multiply."
Come on, Sister Cleo. Come on, Sister Cleo.
Speak, sister, speak.
All right, y'all. Listen, man. DMX, brother, appreciate what you left us. I hope that your kids will be able to carry your legacy on, man. So shout out to the X, right? One time. Oh, DJ said he had 17 kids.
Oh, 17. Oh, okay. Wow.
Yikes.
Okay.
All right, man. That's all right. Well, maybe that's what Exodus 1 is 7 meant.
That's what the 1 and 7 meant.
All right, y'all. We got something. What we got next, madam? All right, listen. Now, I listen. I'm gonna tell y'all something about Black Lives Matter. I'm black, and that's all that matters to me. Right?
Already.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So don't get it twisted when I get into this thing. I don't have no problem with them, but I don't think me and Black Lives Matter agree on everything. But I will say this, man. I don't know who the leader is, right? But apparently the media has deemed this young lady, her name is, let me see, Patrice Kahn Colors. She's a self-proclaimed trained Marxist. Apparently she is the person who is one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter Global Network. So this young lady now is under investigation because, and by her own people, right? Some of the patrons or some of the supporters in Black Lives Matter movement are now wondering why in the world did she spend about $3.2 million on property? Now, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but one purchase, she bought a house for $1.4 million in Los Angeles, in a majority white neighborhood. I mean, listen, the sister just hustling. I can't really knock her game, y'all. Listen, if y'all give her to Jim and Tammy Baker, why y'all can't give her? Ain't nobody had no problem with that. So, I don't know. I ain't got no shame in what she doing. What y'all think? Is it about the movement?
It doesn't sound like it's about the movement to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's taking advantage of the movement and their monies, and she's making her own movement. She's trying to, you know what I'm saying? So
You make no
yeah, and I've always kind of been leery of this Black Lives Matter anyway, of the hierarchy of who is running this, who's where's the monies, who's accountable, are they transparent? So this right here, man, this is definitely don't look good for Black Lives Matter. I will say that, and I'm looking at it with a side eye. Be personally honest.
Bruh, they need it. They just need a reason, right? These our nice constituents that stand on the other side. All they need was one reason. So they're gonna go get it. What you got, Black?
So it's interesting that Brenton, that you would says, hey, you evoked the name of Tammy and Jim Baker, and you said they didn't mind giving to them, because for me, whenever I see a movement, so to speak, it makes me think of televangelists, and that's why I have a hard and fast rule that the Bible says you receive free, you give free. So that's for the televangelist. If you're really following Christ, you shouldn't be following money in that sense. But we as African American people, this going back from the days of Reverend Ike, I'm telling my age now. Reverend Ike them figured out that Black people like their ministers to be wealthy.
Rich. That's it.
And if you look, and I'm gonna take you guys back to a scene of the movie Malcolm X. There's a scene in the movie when Malcolm X realizes that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the organization is crooked, and there's a quick scene in the movie where he says like damn, this is the best organization for Black people, and they messed it up. Historically, what happens is, even when something is good, when it involves money and there's the potential for greed, that's where the message gets lost.
Yeah.
And so people like to have their ears tickled when a message is out there. And when there's an opportunity to take advantage of people, Black, white, yellow, and different, people are going to do it. And that's because people, when it comes down to money, my mom always said, one fool makes many. And so a bunch of people that are following a message and things of that nature, what started out as so great, grand message, but when you turn it into a business and there's no oversight, this is what to expect. And so for me, on a personal level, you started out by Brenton said, you Black and your life matters. I love that mentality, because I don't need an organization to tell me when I can do something good for people in need. If I'm in a grocery store and I see a mom and got kids and she can't pay for the groceries up there, I say, hey, I got it, sweetheart, go ahead on. Sure. She's trying to feed her children. Sure. I can help people individually on a smaller scale. I don't need an organization behind me to tell me that, and I don't need to represent myself as a Black man, for an organization to tell me how I ought to carry myself. So I think it's bogus, and it ruins the complete credibility of what was once a good movement.
Yeah. Ro, what you standing on?
Okay, so I had to look at it from this perspective.
Always.
All right. So the Black Lives Matter movement is registered as a 501c, right? It's registered as a nonprofit. Yep. And 60% of the money correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure it's 60% has to go back into the business. It has to be used for nonprofit purposes, right? 40% of that you could pay to yourself, correct?
I'll take your word for it. I'm not.
I'm not 100% sure, but that sounds right.
Nonprofits are still a business. I'm sorry. It's like I agree with
you can get rich off of them.
The churches, even though a church is a nonprofit, it's still collecting money, right? The pastors walk around with $1,000 suits on with rollies on their wrist and stuff like that. So when I was looking at the Black Lives Matter movement, it's the same thing. She paid herself. She took that money. She ran with it. She got what she always wanted, which is $1 million house. And I don't know why everybody's faulting her or acting surprised. That was her come up.
Yep.
But when you look at her kind of side eye though, when she buying like 4 houses,
if she's buying for it, that's her prerogative. That's the money she earned for starting a movement.
Here's where the problem comes in. on its head, you are 1000% correct. Except she describes herself as a self-proclaimed Marxist. What is a Marxist?
Come on, preacher.
Look up what a Marxist is. That is a communism term. It's basically that you live in meager lifestyle. You live off nothing. So you're completely going contrary. So what you said would be 100% correct. I would have no problem with it if that was the message she was sending. But you can't describe yourself as a Marxist and then at the same time be a capitalist buying homes in place that is exclusionary to Black people. The message doesn't go together.
Right. Which I'm not discounting. What I'm saying is it's not fraud because she paid herself.
You're right. You're right.
I don't think any of us was saying she was fraud. We just was like, no, is this what she doing?
You're right.
I believe that it's like you have to be conscious of what you're doing in the public eye. If you're fighting for, you know, civil rights and putting on this front that you're for the people, well, I'm gonna hope that 4 of those houses are going to someone in need. Like you're actually giving back to the community. I understand you paid yourself. However, like you still need to be you need to be humble. You need to be a little bit more forthcoming with your assets and actually say, hey, this is what I'm doing.
You need to move. You're right. You need to move quietly.
Hey, Rue, if I started an organization right now to protect battered women, and I went around the country giving speeches about protecting battered women, and I got people to donate, but you find out that I beat my wife at home, how does that go? I'm
saying it is, like I said, she does have to be more conscious of what she's doing. I'm not saying that she's right, but I'm saying I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay. we actually in agreement. So legally, she hasn't done anything wrong. You know, she beat him at the game, but that's why I'm saying you're right. You have to be careful what you're donating to. But somebody saying they're Marxist. So when she bought the first house, okay, the second house, the third. Actually, that the cost of the houses, the price kept going up.
Yeah.
Because if you're not looking at what I'm doing, hey, let me get away with a little bit more, a little bit more.
Well, let me throw a little dirt in this stuff right here. Watch this. Now she said she's a self-proclaimed Marxist. Well, that's what she said. Now you know she married, right? So maybe her other half. Yeah, she's married. She's LBGT, XYZ, LMNOP, QRSTV, all that. No shade. I'm just saying. I'm just messing. Right. So, but yeah. So maybe her spouse is a capitalist, and she's gonna take her room in the closet or something. You know, who knows, right? So does this mean she goes to the bank every time a Black? You know what? You're a mess.
Lamar, hey, I'm not messing with you.
That deserves a sticker. Somebody send a sticker on behalf of that message right there.
Wow.
Watch this though. Watch this, y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that was very interesting because I mentioned Jim and Tammy Baker because this is a thing about us and them. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about us and them, right? Okay. So when I'm talking about them, I know. Thank you, Rue. They made a statement, right? The media came to the supporters of Jim and Tammy Baker, and they was like, "Aren't y'all appalled that the people that you're giving money to is driving around in Rolls Royces, got private planes, and all these houses?" And you know what them people told her? It ain't none of my business. I'm giving. I don't care what they do with that money. So I'm just telling y'all, man. Listen, we get mad, but they don't care. They just love the gimmick. And listen, like you said, if Ike and them can get the money, if the Televangelist, listen, y'all give to the same preachers. That's
Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen.
Exactly.
So what y'all mad for?
Creflo Dollar, all of them. I mean, they balling. Yeah.
Oh, y'all mad because she ain't saying y'all gonna get something back for giving. Oh. Okay. That's what the problem is. What'd you say, Rugo?
I said, man, I mind my business. If that's what she want to do, then that's what she want to do. I didn't like the Black Lives Matter movement in the first place, but I got my reasons why. So.
Me too, Rue. And I'm actually going to have a one-on-one conversation about this, just so you know. And I'll just add this last part about it. How come the 2 ugliest women imaginable started this movement? but I'll leave that question for Thursday.
Can't be shaming,
Move on,
bro.
Brittany. Yeah, move on.
You,
Move on.
you,
What
you
you say,
ugly
Ruth?
shaming, bro. You ugly shaming. We can't do
What you
that.
say, Ruth?
Do that.
Like on you.
Shame on. Okay, well, listen. I mean, listen. If you talk about the tale of two coins, we're gonna turn that coin on the other side, right?
right.
Well, listen, and listen. I'm not surprised at this either. You know, if that's not one thing I've learned about my people on the other side, they do not like it when we try to take all the sadness, all the pain, all the hurt. You know, if they got shot, I mean, if we got shot twice, they got shot 4 times, right? It's just always something with them, right? If it was Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. Well, Blue Lives died because y'all been shooting your own people. So now they said, well, we'll just do White Lives Matter.
Right.
Okay.
You know that.
All right. Yeah. So listen, I don't know what this knucklehead's name is, but he's a Nazi, whatever he was. He decided to go on some type of internet private platform, and man, they actually did a rally in my town. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many people are there, but if it was as successful as the one in New York, well, I guess it don't matter. Oh man, listen, I appreciate that, brother. Listen, I'm telling y'all, it took 26 minutes for us to get one of them. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, brother Lamar.
Listen, in the words of Jim and Tammy Baker, will there be another?
Right.
Listen.
Right. We'll see your blessed tile in the
Yeah,
mail.
right.
Yeah,
Listen. Leah wiped the sweat off his head and sent it to you in the mail.
Right.
He's a traveling preacher now.
Yeah.
Right. So my man set up a rally. Y'all want to guess how many people showed up?
Me, call me. I want to guess.
Go for it, kid.
Maybe 1.
Well, he was the only one. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if this boy's slow or what, but I will say this. Now, this 2021, maybe back in 1865, it was cool for them to do the rally, but nowadays everybody want to be incognito. No, Karen don't want to be a Karen, right? You don't want to be the police officer that can I get a red blood? Yeah, yes, sir. My thing is, even for the dude that pulled the gun on the lieutenant, man. After all it was said and done, my man back there trying to rationalize. Listen, you know the kind of climate we in. You know we both having it hard right now. How you having it hard? You got the gun. You know what I'm saying? You put that gun down. I bet that boy would have whooped both y'all. Okay, well, I digress. I mean, my man sitting up there looking like Homer Simpson with a mustache. I mean, like, dude, what you gonna beat up? Okay, anyway, spraying him like he's spraying roaches. Yeah, I'm not on that. I'm on White Lives Matter. Okay, I'm tripping. Okay, so yeah, no, nobody showed up, bro, because nobody wants to identify with it in public. They don't want to identify that in public. He said, now if you have a private meeting like what Trump did, we'll go to that.
Right.
No. Don't ask us to come outside and talk about that, because that's not what you do now. We've progressed beyond that. We've now become we're no longer overt, we're covert, right? I mean, White Lives Matter. Y'all, what y'all think? Y'all, is this gonna catch on? Go ahead, Black. What you got?
No, Brenton. See, here you raised a beautiful point. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yes, sir.
The reason why only nobody showed up and one person showed up, old Redface is gone for 4 years, where he propagated that rhetoric. He made those people come out of the woodwork. But like any bully, when you punch him in the mouth and you realize you take his power away, they couldn't bring Trump down from any of the investigations. You know what did Trump in to the point where people realize now he's powerless? Twitter cut him off. His access to Twitter got cut off, and all of a sudden, that this movement, it has no teeth. People still feel that way. Let's not get it twisted.
That's right.
Behind these closed doors, but they crawled back under the rocks, all under the bricks, because we have a new administration. And these rallies he's having is still trying to make America Great Part 2 to bring it back. And so you're right, 100%, Britton, is that Right now, in the current climate under Biden, nobody wants to identify under this climate. But if you put that man back in office, it'll rear its ugly head again.
Yep.
But right now, this is where I implore the Democrats. I implore them, don't fall for all of their ploys. He's a bully. His power has been taken away. The greatest thing you take away from a narcissist is attention.
That's it.
Right. That's
Ignore him.
Yeah.
Ignore him. What
Yeah.
you got, Ken?
You know, the thing is, you know, I would think it's hilarious to me that, you know, just a couple of months ago on January 6th, I thought that was another White Lives Matter meeting they were having. And you would think that they would have learned they doggone, I was about to cuss, Brenton, my bad.
All right, man.
You would have thought they learned they doggone lesson then. But you know, the thing is that their guy, because I never call him by his name, I call him that guy or that clown. He was their protection when he was in office. They felt protected because they knew that guy was, no matter what they did, he was gonna somehow protect them. Well, now they don't have that protection now.
That's right.
So now
come out like that.
they don't want them to come out. But just like Brother Black said, don't get it twisted. They still gonna do their little thing behind closed doors, whatever. But now it's a little bit different. Now they got to try to figure out how they can make white lives matter again.
Yeah,
white lives always matter. So
I love that.
That's my take.
Yeah, Ruru.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm like, I think people are starting to understand the climate. These young people are ready to throw down. And I was also reading that where they were actually supposed to hold the rally, there were anti-protesters and Antifa.
What the work did they?
Waiting.
Right.
Yeah, like go ahead, shop if you want to. We got something for you. So I don't know if like they just got scared or what, but man, that mess was funny when I read it. It was funny. I'm like, there you go.
Well, you know, it's something funny. It's I wanted to show this, and then we'll get out of here. My man, they actually made a statement, like you said, Antifa. What's the other one? I don't know.
The Proud Boys.
No, I'm talking about the people who were fighting against them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fighting against
them. All them jokers, the Antifas and the anti-racist protesters, they gathered and they were shouting back at them, we accept your surrender. But it was something really interesting in this article.
That's good.
Yeah, there's something in this article that I thought was really interesting, and I want to read it to you guys. It says the poor showing underscores how the country's unpopular and disorganized extremist movement has been driven underground by increased scrutiny from the media, law enforcement agencies, and far-left activists who infiltrate their private online spaces and disrupt their attempts to communicate and organize. Few White Lives Matter marches showed up Sunday, but anti-racist and anti-fascist group gathered just the same. I thought that was really...
They ready to knock heads, man.
Yeah.
They like Martin Luther King over here. We got some Malcolm X in.
No, you're right. But I want to say this though.
Boy,
I want us to be clear. They're not gone. They just underground.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want y'all to get it twisted. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like Black said, 4 years gonna come, and it's gonna come back quick, right? What's that? 2025, 2024?
Mm-hmm.
No, what is that? We're 2021. So 4 years, 2025. I'm just telling y'all, don't sleep on these jokers, because them same jokers that ran that Capitol. Well, listen, if they come back and they think he can come give them more cover, you know what I'm saying? These people are not smart, right? They're not smart at all.
Not at all. Nope.
Yeah, and so when you mess with a fool, listen, ain't no talking, right? No, man.
Exactly.
you don't talk to fools. You know what I'm saying? You don't talk to fools. Do y'all hear me? You don't
No, you
talk to
do.
fools.
No, they don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, don't talk to fools. Yeah, don't talk to fools. Okay, I got it. Don't talk to fools.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Don't talk to fools. All right. All right. So anyway, I just want us to be clear. They trying whatever they can to keep the fire going. But they're just gonna have to wait till DJ get back. And I ain't talking about Sullivan, right?
right. We know,
Yeah. Yeah.
guy, right. I
What
know
you say?
you're
How do
talking
you
about.
feel about that, Brenton? How do I feel about what? Oh, you talking about how he's coming back like Chucky? Yeah. Well, I think Chucky had a movie called Chucky's Dead. So
I believe you're right.
yeah.
So
So you
we'll
better be
see.
careful, man. Yeah. Okay. What we got next? Oh, this is interesting. So I put a spin on this, y'all. You know, Will Smith was like one of the highest paid actors, period, right? And I ain't just black. You know,
Right.
he been making money. I mean, listen, Fresh Prince. You know, if you heard the story, you know, Fresh Prince was his gold mine, right? And so he was winging it on the Fresh Prince. Now, you know, he's on the red table getting meaned. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I'm just messing. So
No,
listen,
you ain't
y'all.
messing. That's the truth.
Yes, it is the truth. Yes, sir. Thank you for correcting that. Yes, sir. So listen, Will got a new movie coming out. Y'all know we ain't talking about no Will Smith got no movie, but there's an interesting twist to this. He was gonna film this movie in Georgia. Yes, Georgia, right? The voting bill, Kemp, right? Y'all know. So the problem is that once they passed that bill, so Anthony Fuqua, I forgot his most knowledgeable movie.
Equalizer. Him and Denzel Washington. A lot of good movies.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Thank you, sir. Yeah, he did the Equalizer. So him and Fuqua, they decided to move production out of Georgia. Y'all, they moved $120 million of revenue
Wow.
out of that
Wow.
city.
Wow.
But again, we're talking about a fool,
Right.
right?
Right.
Listen, last time I checked, I don't think Kemp getting no late fees or no insufficient funds fees because he passed that law. It ain't hurting you. It ain't hurting him. None of this is hurting these guys that's making these decisions, y'all. So I'm telling y'all better get out there and change these people's positions, right? Because the people are trying to do their best to get it out here, and not only them, but also Starbucks, LinkedIn, all these other companies are now petitioning.
Good point.
What you say? Tyler got decisions to
Yeah,
make.
I
He
was
do.
just thinking that he do. That's a
He
very
do.
good point, Lamar.
He do. But I think he's on his own compound, so I don't know how he don't
That's
need
true.
them.
Yeah, true.
Very
You
true.
know what I'm saying? So he's on his own. So all his money come back. It's in a dryer. It's just cycling. It's like he got his own pyramid. So yeah, Will Anthony Starbucks. Y'all think all this money gonna make him fold? What y'all think? What you think, Rue? You think he's gonna fold in?
Okay, I asked y'all last time, like, and y'all said that basically collateral damage was needed, right? It was necessary. And I'm still like trying to figure out, because I went and read and I was really trying to find the actual bill itself, but I was having a hard time. I guess Google didn't want me to find it, so I didn't see exactly what was on it. But that's why I was asking last time about, okay, people are upset because I get the suppression of it, and I understand that companies don't want to contribute to the economic progress of the state, and that in a way it is, I guess, amplifying states' control or states' own government. I get it, but we're in Texas, so we're kind of used to Texas governing ourselves. Like, we get backlash for the whole mask debacle too. So
right.
I'm still questioning, because I was reading over the bill. Okay, I was reading over what was put out there, why there was so much controversy over it. And I still don't get it in a way, because I'm looking at, okay, you got to put your social security number or some kind of way to ID yourself on the ballots. It turns out that you have to, dang it, I just lost my train of thought just that quick. Let's see. they shortened the time. They put time stipulations on when to actually put the voting in. I get that, but to me that was kind of necessary. So I'm still trying to figure out, why does it have to be that the companies pull money away from people, the people that are working there? I feel like it does more harm than good.
Mm-hmm. Go Black.
Okay, let's go back, Rue, to when the Voting Rights Bill first was enacted. So under the United States Constitution, every American is supposed to be able to vote. So in an elementary sense, imagine when, you know, they passed a law that all of a sudden they recognize African American people as people, because at one point we wasn't even recognized as people.
That's right.
So finally, when they recognize us as people, so if you're people now, you're part of the Constitution, you could vote. So what they did at that time is they said, okay, you can vote, except that you have to have a driver's license. You have to own X amount of land. You have to have this. What they did is they tweaked the law just enough, knowing that those African American people who were just coming out of sharecropping days could not meet the burden of proof to vote. This is the very same thing. Think about it in poor communities. It doesn't hurt you or I, because, you know, we're young, we're mobile. Think about when an election comes up and who actually swings an election: the elderly, the invalid, the people who absentee balloting, and how churches organize to get those elderly people on buses. Think about anytime there's an amazing election, what you hear on Rickey, Smiley, and Steve Harvey is they're mobilizing, go pick up those elderly, the church buses take them, and this and that. So what this law is saying now is you can't do that. And that all those elderly people, and even if they're standing in a line, because now what the voting bill does, this changes they made, they took away some of the polling places where you can vote. They took away the post office. So they're limiting the amount of places you can even cast a vote, which means the lines are going to be even longer in areas that's already suppressed. Let me finish. So even if those lines are long, you can't even bring them food and water now. So they're passing laws that makes it particularly hard on the minorities and African Americans, because if you're an elderly person and now you're telling me that I have less places to go vote, and even if I do go vote, then I'm going to stand in a line that already was 6 hours long. Now it's going to be 12 hours long. And oh, by the way, my own people can't give me food and water. What they're hoping is that a lot of elderly people, it already takes a great deal to get minorities to vote anyway. They're hoping that'll say, well, we'll just say, screw it. I'm not going to go. So let me make this last point. The reason why this helps what Will Smith is doing, you said a moment ago in the last segment, Rue, about the young people and how they're the new era of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, because this is not the generation to turn the other cheek. What Will Smith them is doing is modern day take on boycotting. In the 60s, where they did sit-ins and where they boycotted and wouldn't ride the buses, we've learned in this new generation how you hurt white people, people in positions of power, you hurt their pocket.
Yep.
And so if you start removing services out of Georgia, that's why the Major League Baseball took the services out. The reason why they're saying that what's his name has decisions to make is because if you start withholding economic support, that's when it'll hurt them. That's how you hurt people, is that you impact them in an economic way. But these voting rights, we wouldn't even be having this conversation had Georgia went red. Because it turned blue, they're saying, what can we do to prevent this from happening next time?
Yep. Moving the goalpost is what I call it.
Oh, for sure.
In response to what you just said about the buses, okay, the rebuttal was they can still vote from home. They can still submit the absentee ballots. I get the food and water. I see loopholes here. That's maybe why I'm just kind of like, all right, you won't allow gifts to be given in line, but they are allowed to pay for it, right? Any kind of transaction is deemed, payment. So you can be like, all right, give me a penny. There's a penny. I just paid for this water. You take that money and you figure out how to get, collect the money.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because even though there are loopholes, we shouldn't have. They shouldn't have to be.
Yeah.
Right. But
The most simple answer to that is you don't see them making those loopholes for the rich, because guess what? If you're rich, I live in Georgia. I live right here in Smyrna in Cobb County. Now you go out to Fayetteville, where the rich white people live. They don't have to travel 10 miles to go to the polling place. They go 2 miles. You got to think about it from that place. Yes, there are loopholes, and we always have to, but that's the question, Rue. Why do we have to work 3 times as hard?
Do their job.
No, that's not that part is true, but we shouldn't have to climb over hurdles that are only affecting us. It's bad enough they got a 400-year head start on us. Because again, in Fayetteville, they don't have to do that. So how come they can go in Fayetteville, which is only 17 miles from where I live in Fayetteville? How come they can go in Fayetteville and they're in and out in 30 minutes? And when they walk in that center to vote, they have food, they have water. But let's go to Jonesboro, Union City, East Point, that they have to travel 20 miles to even vote, and they got to stand in. No, we shouldn't have to do that. These laws are designed to make it harder for people of color, and at its core, it's voter suppression. It's taking a page out of what they did when they first enacted these voting rights. It shouldn't be that hard.
Right, but we should, if that was the case, then we should basically mutiny. Like, there's ways to get things done, and people don't.
I love that you said that, but I love that you say that. But that's the point I was making, that this generation has figured out a way to mutiny. It is what you're saying is right. It is mutiny, but it's mutiny on an economic sense, because right now, as long as the law is white, so we in addition to dealing with voter suppression, we're trying to overhaul the police system, because the modern day Klansman is the police force.
Right.
So if you mutiny, you're going to lose that battle. So you know what we have to fight with? Economic power. Let me say this last statement. Black people is the only
these decisions on what to do with poor people's money is what I'm having the issue with.
Who's making it?
Impoverished conditions, and you're not taking the initiative to fix up your own communities or going out and actually not putting this person in office to begin with, then you can't complain. That's where
I agree with you in a sense.
What's happened?
But the game is rigged from the top down. The game is rigged from the top down.
It's our job to beat the system, but we have to work collectively. And that's what.
So my point is, if you're right, then why deal with extra hurdles that's going to make it even harder?
Individual decisions doing that.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. When the system is rigged against you, I wish it was an individual decision. And it is modern day mutiny, because the only thing we can control and make an impact is economic dollars, because African Americans spend more disposable money than any other ethnic group on this earth. We spend more disposable income than any other ethnic group on this earth. Look around you. We're the ones that's making Michael Jordan rich and Gucci rich and this one rich, because we buy the purchase and the cars and this and that. White people don't spend that money. White people buy land. White people own the color blue.
Exactly.
White people, that's the difference.
So hold on. Go ahead. Get your point, Ruben. I want to take it from here.
You can't rely on a celebrity to do the job. You're waiting for them to fix their problems and turn around and get mad when they go out. It makes no sense.
Somebody plans.
You're going to take money away from impoverished communities. However, you're sitting comfortable. I don't get it, and I'm not. That's
not the point he's doing. What he's saying is that since the governor of this state is willing to stand behind a law that's going to make it more difficult for African Americans to vote, their statement was, we cannot in good conscience pour more money into your economy when you're doing that. And you're right, Rue, even though it may hurt African Americans, but it's going to hurt them just as much, because by starting the trend, it takes somebody to get the ball rolling. So you got baseball, you got Apple computers, you got Target, you got Will Smith. So when the ball starts to roll in, that's how you get the needle moving. you're right. It may hurt us a little on the front end, but it can hurt them a hell of a lot more on the back end.
Okay.
Because
and I'm all for
something. We got to do something.
We got to do something.
I hear what everybody's saying, and I really do. And Rue, I respect, and this is the interesting place about generation, right? Where Lee has seen it differently, you have seen it differently, and so our perspectives are different because of these things. And listen, we could take another 45 minutes going in because I have my own perspective, right? And I just want to say this, even to Rue's point, I see how we can take $120 million out of the place, but you're taking it out of the money, the hands of the people that would work for that money. I would like to see them put it into an area which would combat Kemp. That's what Rue is saying. I hear what you're saying, but see where y'all then we're talking about these loopholes and systems. This game big, right? This is some of the I can't when you think you won, it's another system. Like the schools were great, but the problem is that when you went to white school, they got to tell her how black people work and what you're supposed to be. And the problem is that all we're doing is trying. We're not being successful. We're just trying. And so I think at this moment, it's never going to be about black and white. It's going to always be about green. But as long as there's no balance in the green, then we're never going to get nowhere. Well, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate everybody for coming.
Can I have one last statement to Rue?
Black.
Piggyback on what you just said. So even though you and I are from different generations, what we can't let happen, Rue, is we can't be divided, baby. Because that's the real strategy, is that if they can divide us generationally, gender-wise, then we all lose. So even though you and I might differ on strategy, I hear you.
No,
and
we're going still the same. We need to do something. Yeah, it's just.
And
there you go. There you go. There you go.
We support each other. And I guess whoever got the great plan, it's not about. There was a statement, right? If a good farmer never waits for the best time to plant, right? No. You just plant the right food. Don't wait. No, plant the right food in the right season. Don't wait to plant the food you want to plant because you just never know what's going to come around. Plant the right stuff in the right season. And I think this season calls for us to do action, but also do it in a way to where we're not being naive to think that one thing that we're focused on is going to be the solution to the problem, because it's another monster behind the door. Y'all remember Mike Tyson Punch Out? Yeah. After you fight Ball Bull, you still got to fight Soda Pop Kaniski, right? And then so on and so forth. Blast Joe, you fight all these people. So we're fighting. That's all.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, Brother Brenton, I know we got to move on, is those mayonnaise folks, they play chess, and we got to play chess with them. We got to stop playing checkers, man. Because at the end of the day, I already know what drives them is the money. So what we do, we start hitting them where it hurt, and when it hurt is start pulling our money out of the states or whatever that wants to go back to these Jim Crow laws. Unfortunately, yes, I agree with you, Rue. It does hurt us on the economic end, but in the 60s, we had to take a hit sometimes when we did the boycotts, and some of our people went to jail. Some of our people weren't able to work, but for the greater good, we maybe have to take a loss on the front end to get what we need on the back end. And I applaud Will Smith and brother them pulling out.
And Rue, don't you change. We need strong soldiers like you.
Rue, I get you.
I love your energy. I love your energy because y'all getting it done. Y'all ain't the turn the other cheek generation. We need your strong views. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like she said, it's all about optics at the end of the day. And I believe that's what she's ultimately saying about these posturing moves. That is just optics, right? They just because guess what? 4 years, these same clowns that's all of a sudden got a problem. If Trump was in office, you wouldn't hear a peep out of them.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. And that's for holding down Rue. All right, listen. We got serious in this one. Listen, now y'all know. Listen, we get on it. My boy Ken say these mayonnaise folk, but now we're gonna deal with us. Now listen, I hope y'all know I hope y'all know we are equal opportunist morning show. And I say morning show because it's morning somewhere. Right?
Yeah, it's born somewhere. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
morning somewhere. We are equal opportunists, and for everybody that don't know Rickey Smiley, I know Georgia know Rickey Smiley.
Big time.
Yeah, they know Rickey Smiley too. But he loved his Alabama. He loved Birmingham, Alabama.
Roll
So,
Tide.
yeah, man, I'm telling you, I don't know how that joke goes. But I will say this before I get to that. It's really hard because after listening to this last conversation, I'm not a Democrat supporter, and I'm not a Republican, but it's very hard for me to side with Republicans when they act like this. Like the reason why I vote Democrat sometimes is because the way y'all act, right? The way y'all try to pull stuff. Thank you, man. Hey, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate you.
I see $50 coming on this next topic. Then we gotta get into it. But I'm just saying, like, I don't support neither side. But at the end of the day, Mobile in the house.
Mobile
All right,
in the house. All right.
looking out. Thank you. For sure. So you need to speak on this thing. So you know Rickey. So watch this. My thing is, I just, it's hard. Y'all say, people ask me, why do I vote for Biden? Well, it's not about me voting for Biden. It's just like, y'all stop slapping me in the mouth and telling me you didn't do it. I mean, that's what Republicans do, you know. And so anyway, all right. Listen, Rickey Smiley. He's a radio host. If you don't know him, and he has a very nice show called the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. But he's very known for his helping a lot of young men, right? And he calls them his sons. I don't think he got that many kids. He definitely not like DMX. He don't have that many kids, but he does a great job of trying to raise a lot of young men. But there was a hitch, right? So again, that word, trying to raise young men, right? So this young man, one of the young men he was helped raising, apparently his mother went on social media and began to berate Rickey Smiley for him causing her son to commit suicide.
It was his sister, Brent.
Was it his sister?
It was a young man's sister. Yeah.
The young man's sister. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see how we fact check on this show. Yeah, we're fact checking. Yeah. So it was his sister, and so she got upset at Rickey because she blamed Rickey for him wanting to commit suicide, and the problem was she kept referring to him, Rickey, wanting him to cut his dreads. And the thing about this is, and I thought it was overkill, but I understood why Rickey did it. Rickey wanted to show his receipts about his messaging about why he told that young man to cut his dreads, because the young man wanted to do more, and Rickey was telling him, man, you can't do a lot with the way you appear to the people you want to work for. You're just not going to make it. And so this woman went on this rant. Again, we're talking about all these layers of issues, right? And I'm gonna let y'all have it because I want to go last. But Rue, what do you think about? Oh, she done. Oh Lord. She finna cut up. All right, go on, man.
She took that side.
She crossed the legs.
Yeah, she crossed the
legs.
I already know it's about to go down.
All right, give a big screen. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna be nice.
Yeah, right.
When you know someone close to you, or you feel like you may possibly feel guilty about having a part in their death, then you feel like you're either gonna blame yourself, or two, you're gonna blame somebody else. And I'm just gonna say that I feel like she's kind of went on this rant and went in and made it bigger than it was, because of course she's hurt. She's, sorry. She may feel a little guilt, and he was the easiest target. And to me, what he told the kid was, it's not my belief. However, this is people's perception. If you want to work for, if you want to be in this environment, then you have to look the part. And that's how I took it. Now, her going in, honey, it's okay. People pass, and it's harder when some people take their lives, because you feel like, why would you do that? suicide usually hurts the people around them. It's definitely not going to hurt that person. It's going to hurt the people around them more because people feel guilty. People feel hurt. What could I have done? In her case, it was easier to blame him. So I'm just going to be nice. It was easier for her to blame him.
Go ahead, Ken. What you got, brother?
I mean, I have to agree with Rue. I think, and I don't blame Rickey for making a video to respond, because I think a lot of times, you know, when people in that stature, people come at them all the time, and then a lot of time they publicists say, you know, nah, don't touch it, leave it alone. But in this case, she was basically blaming, saying that Rickey caused his nephew, which was his nephew by marriage. Her mother was married to Rickey's uncle, so this was his nephew. I mean, his family. So she went on there and basically said that Rickey, you know, in so many words, you led him to commit suicide. I know if I was Rickey, I would have went on and showed my receipts too. And then obviously, if you watch the whole video, if y'all watch it, her and Rickey didn't have a great relationship anyway.
Correct.
So I think if I was Rickey, I would have done it. Unfortunately, you know, you hate to air your family laundry on social media like that, but if somebody's coming at me, especially when you blaming me for a death of a nephew that I loved, that I tried to help, no man, I'm gonna come back at you.
Yes, sir. All right, Black. I know you got something for him nasty. Let him have it.
No, not nasty. I agree with both points from Rue and Kenny. He had to respond because you're messing with his name, and I think I've told people how I feel about that. I almost lost my job. You only get one name. So he's a high profile personality, and he had to respond. Having said that, Kenny, you're right. This was somebody who already had an issue with him because he received legal custody. So she was angry with him from that point on. Now let's real quick, let's examine that he wanted the guy to get his hair cut because $100,000 job was at stake. Now, we've seen Dave Chappelle's show before. He used to have a skit, when being black goes wrong.
Yeah.
See, we can be down and we can keep it real, sometime at the expense of our own selves. I work in a professional environment, you know, white corporate America. I might like to grow some dreads on my hair. Pre-pandemic, I couldn't. There is a look that you have to have in order to go in that office and work. And by the way, this whole notion that keeping it real and I want to grow my hair this kind of way, the company I work for, that's these people business. They tell me how I have to appear, I can't wear sandals to work. If I'm going to have facial hair, it has to be of a certain nature. I can't walk into work with a t-shirt with a big hole in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? So there is a standard, whether we like it or not, because that's the game. And so if you want to make that kind of money, that's the rules. We don't get to pick and choose. Now, you have a choice. So his choice was, I'm not going to cut my hair. It meant that much to me. I'm an uncle of many nephews. I'm the youngest of 11 children. I got many nephews and nieces. I pass those same messages on to them, that how people see you, it matters. That when you walk in Mr. Such and Such's office, how you speak, how you dress, how you carry yourself, it matters. You said a minute ago, Brenton, that there's many layers to this. I agree with you 1,000%. She's projecting because she hurt, and she has to blame somebody. And I believe it's her own, maybe a conscience. My very best friend I ever had in life, he committed suicide, and I wanted to blame somebody. The reality is, Ken took his life. He made a conscious choice. I couldn't blame his uncle. I couldn't blame he was in a marriage that he didn't want to be in. At the end of the day, this young man was suffering some things that he didn't want to be here anymore, and that is tragic and that's sad. But as an uncle, as a brother, as a cousin, as a friend, we can try to help somebody, but at the end of the day, people make their choices, and we're not responsible for those. I dispense advice to good people all the time. They can choose to take it or not. My intentions are great, which I think Rickey's was. And so it's tragic that this young lady needs to blame somebody, but he made some choices. And ultimately, we have to live with that. He has to live with that. But to your point, Brenton, there's a lot of layers to this thing, because we as African Americans, sometimes We want a cake and want to eat it too. And I'm sorry, you don't get to do what you want to do. This is my apartment. And if I say you can't come in here until you do such and such and such, that's my rules. That's the way it works. So when you go to Mr. Charlie's job, that's an old term, and he say you got to cut your dreads, you can either cut your dreads and get the job, or don't cut your dreads and bye-bye.
Go ahead, Rue, and then I'm ready to crack my knuckles.
So I also questioned if he actually committed suicide on purpose.
Woo! Now that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't know.
It
on the show.
He OD'd on pills.
Wow.
Right.
Never said that he had any mental issues before. Never said anything about. So I'm a little concerned that maybe the part that she may feel guilty about is him having access to the drugs and maybe thinking that it wasn't, like a thing where he was depressed. He was partying. She's seen him partying, really never said anything too much, especially if you're turning down a 6-figure job for dreads. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wasn't making the right choices and was just, having fun, and it wasn't on purpose.
You good point.
Very good point.
All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Come on, brother B.
All right, I'm gonna show y'all my certificate. It's my black certificate, so y'all can know I got credentials, right? I've been black all my life, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. This reminds me of Kirk. This reminds me of a lot of other people who have kids that are falling through cracks of systems or things. That's number one. Number two, there's a feminist problem. I'm cracking my knuckles because I ain't scared of y'all. The feminist problem, right? Because y'all blame us if we're not there, and then y'all blame us if we get there, and then y'all blame us for how we do them. So I don't know. Y'all gotta listen. I've watched Wayne Brady's show. Let's make a deal. Y'all can only have one door you're gonna go. Which door you want? You want door number 1, number 2, or number 3? Which one is gonna be? And then we can go from there. The man was there for the young man, right? And so this is my issue, right? Either y'all want us there or y'all don't want us there, right? But if you ask us into a situation, or if we're coming into a situation where the young man already got 12 years in the foolishness, 30 years in the foolishness, I can't fix that. I'm not gonna fix that, and I'm speaking for experience, right? I've gone in situations and I didn't mind helping, right? At 3 and 4, but don't bring him to me at 15, 16, and he about to choke you. What I tell y'all about fools? I don't play with fools. Right? I'm not playing with y'all. And so this is, and again, I'm not calling the young man a fool. What I'm saying is that what I'm telling you guys is this: like Rickey, the way Rickey parent is the way my grandparents parent. You know why? Because his grandmama raised him.
Right.
Right? That's it. I watched the old man get up, and I'm gonna tell y'all what that joker told me. That joker said he cut yards. That's who I live with, a man that cut yards for a living. And you know what? He didn't believe me that I had a job overnight at Jack in the Box. He said I was out there chasing skirts. And I had to tell my mama, you need to tell Poppy that I'm working, because he out here think I'm chasing these skirts. But you wouldn't tell him that when the sun go down, everything closed. And when the sun comes up, that's when you go out and make your money. Man, I'm getting off at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to go lay down in my bed. I hear the truck crank because he's putting the lawnmower on the back of the truck, and he said, "Get your gut up. You laying up in the bed. You ain't gonna sleep all day." And I have to sit up in the bed, dog tired, until he drove off. But I'm telling y'all, man. Listen, I'm sorry. I know y'all want us to be something that we're not going. We can't fix it all. And my thing is, like Ruth said, we don't know what happened, but yeah, ma'am, I know you feel the way you do, and I won't invalidate how you feel. But what I will say is, Rickey tried. That's all Rickey did. Rickey tried. And so, And you know, I thought it was a little overkill that he wanted to, you know, let all the other young cats. It was true. Will Smile. It was real. He was real, and I couldn't play with him. Right. But the thing is, he had all the other young men on there just trying. Rickey, we know you doing right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but we know you put your hands on some people too. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it just don't work like that for them. And so, and that's that bridge, man. Like it's again, we're talking about so many layers. Even with DMX, his mama, the way she thought, you know what I'm saying, messed him up. Again, it's just I don't want to point the finger at nobody, right, for doing nothing. It's a tragic situation, but we're so inundated with bad news in this country. I mean, look, they just had another shooting before we came on tonight.
Yeah, in Tennessee, right?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. That's just, it's rough, man. Listen, I know we wanted to know everything, but no, some things should be better left alone. And I didn't even watch the last video with the dude, man. I get tired of seeing it, y'all. So for the sake of just this moment, and listen, we could do 45 minutes on this alone, just about the dynamics of the Black family. He tried, and listen, you're not going to be 100% successful. Never, right? And so if he lost one out of how many he showed, 10, everybody's not going to respond the same way. Right? But we got to have the fathers in the home. But if he's not a good father, then that's one thing. So again, yeah, go ahead, Rue.
I know how to get the fathers in the home. Wait.
What is this a Lee Black show?
I gotta do away with child support. It'll make women more responsible, I feel like. So there's a way to keep a man in the home.
You say do away with child support?
Do away with it? Oh wow, that's an unpopular opinion, I'm sure.
Very.
No, because they didn't take care of him.
No part. And if there's child support, have that money go from each parent and go straight into a bank account for the child that they don't have, like a trust. That's how I feel like it would hold women responsible, because then they ain't laying down with just every other dude thinking that they gonna get a check if they keep the baby. Like,
y'all gonna make me do a show on this, because I got.
But that's a show right there. That's a show.
Yeah. We have so much power. We have so much power, but we don't choose our mates carefully. Why?
Oh,
because
wow.
There's an incentive to keep them in the home.
You messing? You taking that stick to that bee's nest now? You cutting up? I ain't get all right. Well, listen, we gonna have to mess around with that in another show. Okay, listen, that was a great topic, but y'all know what time it is, right? Y'all know what time it is. Listen, Lee,
I'm here, you partner.
Holler at him for a second.
Is it my time?
It's your time. Holler at him right quick.
Look, let me holler at y'all for a minute about this Lisa Ray and colorism thing. This is part 2 of a story I did a couple of weeks ago about Halle Berry and toast. There was a morning talk show. Rob Lederman was on, and he was comparing how he liked his toast to African-American women. He said that for him, he liked his toast to look like Halle Berry. He still wanted a little bit of melanin in there. He lost his job, pure and simple. Well, Lisa Ray, we know from the Players Club, she's on a show with other women called Cocktails with Queens. She said she didn't see nothing wrong with what he said, that he was simply saying it was a personal choice. Now, the other women on there, Selena, what's her name? She's a singer. Selena Johnson. I forget the other person on there. They basically, and Vivica A. Fox, all well known. Now they said that that Lisa Ray didn't appear to be too bothered by what he said, and they felt objectified and wronged by the comments that Rob Lederman said, and that for them they say that there was colorism in play. Now I looked up the word colorism. I'm gonna be short. Colorism is defined as prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. It made me sick. We got all these new terms, and I want to curse so bad it's just killing me, but okay.
Come on, take a step back.
Guys, it's too much. We have enough real problems out here than to be creating problems that really don't exist. Now, I don't at the point I didn't find any issue with what Lederman said. I think it was a choice, but in the society we live in, like Lisa Ray said, the climate we live in, you have to be careful what you say. It was taken the wrong way, and when you got high-profile people like Halle Berry speaking out, you're probably going to lose your job. Having said that, for us to be adopting terms like colorism is absolutely ridiculous. Prejudice and discrimination amongst ourselves because of skin tone. When did it become a problem that we can have a preference about what type of person we find attractive? I'm a big, bald black man with a certain skin tone. Some women like my skin tone and some women don't. You poll any woman out there, some of them like them yellow brothers, them yellow bones. Other women, they like them smoky, black, and dark, and some like them all in between. But to holler that is colorism because we have a preference about skin tone. Now, for me personally, I don't discriminate. I like all. I've had yellow bones, dark skin, red bones, fat skin, slim. You know I like women. At the end of the day, when the lights go off, we all the same damn color anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But the idea that other women are attacking her because of her opinion and we're creating issues because of color, where are they getting this crap from that we have to fight amongst each other because we can't say that since you're light skinned, you're cute, and you're dark skinned? It's a choice. That's human nature. That's who we are. Now, you telling me it's okay if I go to the grocery store and I can make a choice between Pepsi, Coke, and 7-Up, but I can't say what I like in a woman that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with? Get the F out of here.
Oh, thank you for the F word. I appreciate that, Lee. And I know
I realize.
UCKs in there.
I realize.
Yes. Listen, School Days, Spike Lee movie. I remember the first time. That was the first time I really had to figure out what I didn't know there was a problem between light skinned and dark skinned girls and the hair when they had the little dance off, right? That I one thing about influence is that there's a reason why people pay for commercials, right? There's a reason why people pay for slots, is because human beings are influenced, right? And listen, I can give a jingle, the Hammer. Everybody know in Texas, y'all know who the Hammer is, right? Jim Adler. Why? Because you see him on TV all the time, right? And that's the thing, man. What we enjoyed as entertainment has come across as a way to subliminally interject things, and then as the world does what it does, because it ain't nothing but a cycle, right? It's our job to stop those things from happening. And I just think we're just not doing a good job with that right now. Rue, I know you want to say something about colorism.
I guess not.
All right.
Well, she said her phone died.
Oh,
her phone died. Oh, there she go.
Yeah. My phone died and it overheated and I had to get on this slow computer. I'm so mad. Anyway, yeah, I've experienced a lot of colorism during my time, and it is usually by my own people. And I had never felt so guilty to be light skinned in my life until I got to Dallas. So now, I've always been comfortable in my skin since birth. I've never had any issues with loving who I was, but it made me, like, the whole colorism thing made me feel bad that I felt good about who I was, because it made me look at myself like there was something wrong with me. Like, because I'm light skinned, I shouldn't feel like I'm beautiful, or I shouldn't feel like I'm, smart or intelligent. And it's like, they point the finger at you like you're intelligent because you're light skinned. You're beautiful because you're light skinned. And I never wanted to feel guilty about that. So yeah, I'm like, whatever, y'all can kick rocks. I don't care. It is a preference thing. People have their preferences. Just like I don't like light skinned men because I feel like they're crazy. So
You know,
I love it.
and I
And
feel
I'm
like
glad, she said that, but that doesn't mean she's disparaging dark-skinned men.
Right.
It just means that's her preference. But we're the only race that's having this. Aren't white? You don't hear white people saying, "I'm a little bit whiter than you, so I'm better," or "I'm kind of red, so I'm better." We have enough real problems amongst ourselves than to be creating one about what our actual preference is. And that don't mean you putting somebody else down. If in this moment I'm out here looking for a yellow bone, that don't mean that I think dark-skinned women are ugly. That means that's what I'm looking for right now. You know, you shop for what you want.
And again, I validate what Shantae and I hear my live studio audience back here. I feel a little White Lives Matter moment coming on because my wife thought I was too light skinned. I said, wait a minute. I said, hold on, I ain't light skinned, right? But I do understand. But it all stems from where white people won't do it through colorism. They'll do it with the blue lives, black lives. So there's always a dynamic of somebody feeling like you wanting special treatment for something, but it's always stemmed with white and black, right? It's the reason because they think a light-skinned person can switch it up. Well, because white people accepted them more than the darker people because that's how they got along better. And it's our fault as black people for reinforcing that. But again, it's all about insecurity, right? Being insecure, not the person. Lord, I'm talking like I'm at home. Rude grandmama is darker than anything. Is that? I hope that's her grandmama said that.
Right.
Is that your grandmama that said that? I just read that out loud. Go on, Ken.
Let me say this, and
get Granny, go to bed.
That's
Granny.
Tell grandmother, hey, thank you, Granny.
Thank you, Granny.
Hey, your granddaughter, she off the chain. But anyway,
Yes.
I would say this about colorism. I agree with what everybody said. My thing is, people, you like what you like. I will say this, Brenton. I have never been told that I was too light. I've never had that happen to me. So I ain't never had that one. But I would say this. I think for black men, the beautiful thing about black people, our people, is that we come in all different shades. And I think we should embrace and love all that because we're all beautiful. But I will say, as far as black men, we may not deal with that as much as women. The one thing that being a darker skinned man that I've dealt with, I've always been viewed as being more aggressive.
True.
With anybody, with any other race, they look at dark-skinned black men as being aggressive, and that's something that I've had to deal with in my life. But at the end of the day, man, people like what they like. You prefer what you prefer. Let's stop tripping on this. So that's my
point.
Hold on, Ru. I'm gonna let you go. Ru. Shantae, I hear you. Cause listen, this other Nubian black princess back here hollering the same thing. Nobody's saying that it's not right for people to act like that. Well, I understand. Listen, fat people, ugly people. It's always something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always some reason why there is a distinction. But why can't everybody? What did NDRE say? Be cool in your skin.
If you didn't grow up like me.
Okay, so Lord have mercy. Y'all hear all that back there?
I did hear
security
that.
guard.
I love it.
So I get what y'all saying, and we're empathizing. I'm empathizing with both sides. I'm empathizing with both sides. Brittany, mute the audience. Go on, Ruth.
So Ken, just like you said, dark-skinned black men are looked at as aggressive. It was likewise the same thing with light-skinned women. We're aggressive. We're the loudest. We talk the most. We like that. That is a stereotype that is put on us. So, and I think we kind of have this little man syndrome where because we're overcompensating for our the blackness that people don't see, i.e. my fellow counterparts being women, we're having to kind of swell up and project ourselves in a more aggressive way. Like, yeah, I'm the same as you. So I get the whole aggressive thing as far as black men, but we get the same stigma too as light-skinned women.
Okay. I want to say this just to end it right here, because Lord, I done got an earful while Ruth was talking, right? I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Everybody has been guilty of showing some type of bias. Period.
True.
Whether it's y'all making fun of men because y'all didn't like them and y'all felt like they ping was y'all say it was little, whatever y'all and men walk around with insecurity because they think they can't please no woman. I'm not denying that people will talk about down to you about your dark skin. It's not so today, right?
It is.
Okay, it is. But that's still her experience. But her
She
husband don't treat her
going
like that.
in.
Love it.
So needless to say, you know what? She got to come on the show if she gonna talk like that, right? You know,
Right, right.
probably talk behind the curtain. So at the end of the day, everybody, I'm telling you, from the morning team, we ain't doing it, right? And
Right.
so it don't work like that for us. I love what the church say: yellow, brown, black, and white. You're precious in His sight, right? We love all the peoples, right?
Already.
And I promise you, I want to say this to the men, and I want to say this as a sense of closing it out. If you are hearing your black sister, whether she is as light as Rue or as dark as Viola Davis, you better defend her, right?
Right on. Right on.
That's just real.
Right
So
on.
now I dare somebody say something about that one.
Right
All right.
on.
And on that note, we will have our final thoughts. And so, Black man, let's start with you, brother. I know, man.
Fantastic show. It gets better and better each week. The chemistry between this team is phenomenal. You guys are covering some vital topics. I love everything about it. We can agree to disagree. At the end of the day, we all want the same things. We all moving in the same direction. Love being a part of this. Thank you.
Yes. All right, Ken, what you got? Hey, just so y'all know, listen, we finished the team up. Ken is. I just want to publicly announce that Ken Roland Henderson is a part of the morning team. Y'all give it up for Ken, man. Listen, he makes everything better. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We're gonna make it blacknificent, like I
What you
always say. We're gonna make it blacknificent. My final thoughts, man, is to the poet, man, to the man with the unique voice, the DMX, man. I hate that we had to lose another one of these young brothers slowly because he's 50, and we lost him too early, man. We lost him to the demons that he could never get over. But his legacy lives on. We can always pull up his videos, and peace be upon that king. And get at me, dog. That's my final thoughts.
Bushido, talk to him.
Yeah, I hate that this thing is like so glitchy, but my final thought is, y'all keep in mind that Black Lives Matter makes $90 million a year. Don't be surprised if they got big houses, okay? Just saying.
Okay.
Let that girl make her money and spend it how she wants, just like you do. Whenever you get your little check and you go run out and go buy them Jordans and stuff. So leave that girl alone. Y'all go make some money. Go buy some land. Worry about your own business.
All right, Miss Robbie from Sweetie Pies. Okay, y'all. Listen, it has been an amazing show. I just want to say shout out to the morning team. Thank you, everybody. Thank Brittany for the stickers. Listen, I'm waiting for there to be another, if there would be one tonight. We're calling in the Saints. Thanks. Shout out to Lamar for the stickers. Man, we appreciate y'all for supporting us. I appreciate that a lot. So this is my final thought. My daughter is graduating early. Her mother has said that she said that she had her father's initiative, so that's why she don't even want to walk across the stage with the rest of them, so she could care less. But I got excited because I thought about my college days and I thought about my wife's college days, and I was like, she's gonna really enjoy this. And so I was like, well, let me show my daughter what college life is gonna look like for her. And all I could come up was this.
Nut with the Trump sign. With the Trump sign. She doesn't like the Trump sign.
Oh no, because it sounds really. I thought something was wrong. Yeah, I'm cool though. But no one else knows that.
That's a college campus. Now I want her to go to a trade school. I don't know. Listen, that's Rude. That's Ken. That's Black. We see y'all Monday. We out.